This is the noon news on Fox 11.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Phillips. Today will be the second part of the two-day hearing in the Parkland school shooter's formal sentencing. Nicholas Cruz murdered 17 students and staff members at a Florida high school in 2018. And the judge will order Nicholas Cruz to life in prison without parole today. By law, she must rule this way after a jury could not come to a unanimous decision on the death penalty. Cruz is not expected to speak. While inflation continues to hit people's wallets, falling supplies of diesel could make things even more challenging. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says demand on diesel is skyrocketing, and the nation currently has less than a month's supply at a time. Fox's Tom Vakar has more.
Right now, the nation's supply of diesel, less than a month's worth, is at its lowest level in about 14 years overall and the lowest going into the winter in 40 years. The refiners are still making diesel. Low inventory plus extremely high demand equals consumers pay more. What caused that?
This morning marks the third to the last day to vote early ahead of the general election next week on Tuesday. Yesterday was the busiest day of early voting in Washoe County, with just under 12,000 votes being cast or received. This brings the total turnout in Washoe County to more than 83,000 since early voting started. Turnout in this second week now stands at more than 30,000. Last week's turnout was more than 52,000. The last day of early voting is Friday. Former President Barack Obama is campaigning for Democrats in Nevada during early voting. Obama came to yesterday's Las Vegas rally to encourage voters to head to the polls and re-elect Governor Steve Sisolak. The former president also pushed for incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, along with several other Democratic candidates.
The only way to save democracy is if we together fight for it. And that starts with electing people who know you and see you and care about you and believe in you.
Former President Trump was in Nevada last month to stump for Republican candidates Adam Laxalt, who is running for Senate, and gubernatorial candidate Joe Lombardo. Trump says Democrats haven't done enough to protect their communities. New analysis shows Republicans gaining ground in the race to take back the House. The Cook Political Report finds 10 more blue state districts have moved in Republicans' favor. The group classifies races on a scale from likely to leaning in one party's direction or a toss-up. Their analysis shows 212 seats are at least leaning toward Republicans, compared to 188 toward Democrats. They predict the GOP will gain 12 to 25 seats. Republicans need to gain a net of 5 districts to win the majority. To see all of our election coverage, you can visit our website and social media pages. We'll have full coverage both the night of the general election and the morning right here on Fox 11. When we come back, some Hyundai SUVs may catch fire. The warning and recall they are issuing straight ahead. And the Pentagon is clarifying what U.S. troops are doing in Ukraine after the break. Weather is coming up next. Stay with us. Toyota is reducing its production over ongoing chip shortages. Toyota says it is now expecting to produce 9.2 million vehicles this fiscal year. That's down from the 9.7 million it forecasted. The automaker says the global chip shortage continues as chip makers are facing natural disasters and COVID lockdowns and increasing material costs. Hyundai is recalling thousands of its SUVs due to a fire risk. The recall affects more than 44,000 2018 Santa Fe Sport models. The South Korean automaker says anti-lock brake systems can malfunction and develop an electric short. This could lead to an engine compartment fire while the vehicle is parked or being driven. Owners of the recalled vehicles are being urged to park outdoors. Hyundai says owners can take their vehicle to a dealer for a free repair. The Washington Commanders NFL franchise is for sale. Embattled owner Dan Snyder has hired Bank of America Securities to consider potential transactions, and at least 4 parties have already expressed interest. Forbes estimates the franchise is worth $5.6 billion. Snyder and the team have been embroiled in a number of scandals, and there's been speculation that many of Snyder's fellow owners want him out. Well, the estimated jackpot for tonight's Powerball drawing is $1.2 billion, which would be a good start for buying the Washington Commanders. Here's a look at the California border at Gold Ranch yesterday. As you can see, the amount on the sign is wrong because they simply do not have enough space for all the zeros. Hey, if someone's lucky enough to get the winning numbers, it will be the 2nd biggest jackpot in Powerball history and the 4th biggest in U.S. lottery history. Russian forces have ramped up their attacks on Ukraine's energy facilities. This comes as Russia decides to rejoin the Black Sea grain deal. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Pelcock has more.
Russia rejoined a key grain deal on Wednesday, allowing for the safe shipment of Ukrainian food exports through the Black Sea. On Saturday, Moscow backed out of the agreement after accusing Kyiv of using the corridor to attack its Crimean fleet. Ukraine, the UN, and Turkey have continued to send shipments, but Russia's move to suspend participation caused an increase in global wheat prices. Ukrainian officials said
Pentagon and State Department leaders are working to clarify the role of U.S. Marines in Ukraine. Marines have been stationed at the embassy in Kyiv since it reopened in May, conducting typical guard duties. Last week, the State Department announced plans to send weapons experts into the country. It's an effort to make sure the items being sent to support the war, like rocket and air defense systems, are being used properly and are fully accounted for.
We can confirm there's a Marine Security Guard detachment in Kyiv working with the Diplomatic Security Service to assist with embassy security duties consistent with those performed by Marines at embassies around the world.
Both departments emphasize these are not combat squads, nor will they be near the front lines or joining in battle. They say this should not be seen as an escalation. Tensions are getting higher between North and South Korea after shooting missiles back and forth. South Korean officials say they set off air raid sirens after the North fired 23 missiles this morning. They say one of the North's missiles landed close to South Korean territorial waters. The South responded by launching 3 air-to-surface missiles in international waters. This comes after North Korea warned the U.S. and South Korea to stop their large-scale joint military operations, which started this week.